And we're back on Meet the Leaders. Hi there, I'm David Smith. Along with me, Representative Brenda Kupchick, as we are at the state capitol for the opening of the session. She represents the 132nd district, which is Fairfield. It's good to see you, Brenda. How are you?
Nice to see you, David.
What a day. It's an exciting time. Every year it still gets us all tingling, gets smiles on faces and so forth to kick off a new session.
Yeah. I mean, it's my only second term, so it's very new to me as well.
But it's fraught with hope.
It is.
You know,
and
you start off hopeful.
I think we also, everyone collectively has a heavy heart about Newtown and Sandy Hook. So I think the usual partisanship that we see on opening day or even throughout the year may be tempered because of our, all of us feeling.
Well, now you have gotten a couple of new committees that you are on, none the least of which is public safety, which will have a very direct bearing on legislation that goes toward assault weapons or however it's couched in this case. Any thoughts immediately? I mean, we are all distraught. The governor in the State of the State message reflected that very, very visibly. His continued concern about the situation, and this committee that he's formed is going to be doing some pretty good work, I think, in a very finite time period.
No, I think it's awesome that he put this committee together, and I think it's something that's universal. It's looking at gun safety, it's looking at mental health, and school safety.
It's a holistic enterprise here. Isn't it?
I was a little confused when the governor said today that having safety guards at schools was off the table, or he said that in a speech to an effect. I would think that he would want to wait until the committee had finished their work before really making...
Well, did he not say armed guards, I thought?
He may have said armed. I thought he meant any, safety personnel, and whether that being an armed guard or whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he may have meant. I think typically he's been saying,
because I'm hearing from constituents on a whole host of issues, and I'm hearing across the whole horizon. I'm hearing about changing some of our gun laws. I'm hearing about wanting to improve school safety measures and security, and I'm also hearing a lot about mental health. I mean, I typically, I prefer to leave it up to the towns, and if a town wants to fund having a armed officer or a retired police officer that they're hiring at their building, then I think that's up to the school district. If that's local control, if that's what the parents in that district want to do. I think it doesn't hurt anyone. I think it's another safety measure. It's something else. Some people may disagree. I just think during this session, what I'm trying to do is keep an open mind.
Right.
I may have some personal opinions, but as a legislator, I'm trying to be very cautious as not to interject my own personal opinion. I want to listen and learn, because I think there's a lot.
So you'll be having a lot of public hearings on this whole
And I want to be
situation.
fair, and I don't want to come in it with an already predisposed idea. I want to listen to constituents. I want to listen to public testimony, and I also want to listen to experts in all three of the areas: gun safety, mental health, and also school security.
So will you be having the committee in with you all to do some of this consideration?
Well, I think our committee is going to see a lot of the gun issues.
I mean, the 16-member...
the Public Safety Committee will probably see the majority of those bills.
No, I mean the committee that the governor has put in place.
Well, there's already legislators putting in bills now. I mean, they're flooding, the clerk's office with a ton of legislation on a whole host of things. But I've been hearing a lot of gun legislation, and I mean, it's typical. People are wanting to react. But I want to try to have an open mind, and that's why I didn't introduce anything on any of those, because I want to listen and be impartial, and I want to listen to all the information.
Well, I think that's as it should be. Again, people talk about knee-jerk reactions. I mean, everybody wants to do something.
We do want to do something.
Let's try and do the right something.
We want to do something, and it's heartbreaking. It really is.
And of course, the national do something is really key, because as the governor suggested, guns come from Florida to Connecticut, all over the nation to Connecticut. It's not a problem to do.
Absolutely.
Without a national policy.
Right.
So we'll see what goes on there. You are also on housing, which you've been on in the past.
Yes, that was during my first term.
And all of these things have taken a back seat to the guns situation, and of course the budget deficit that is looming large come the end of the
it's a huge issue
of the year. Where's your focus on the housing?
Housing, actually, in my town and a lot of suburban towns, we have we're having a problem with a statute that was put into effect quite a number of years ago called 8-30G, and it's an affordable housing statute. And what it basically says, the intent was good, was that every new housing that you put in, you have to supply a certain amount of affordable housing. And the towns have to come up to a certain threshold of a percentage of how many housing stock they have. A certain amount has to be affordable. Well, what's been happening in suburban towns like mine is that developers have been using it to get around zoning laws. So they're overbuilding in small parcels of land, and when they've been denied by their town planning and zoning commission, they appeal it at the Superior Court under 8-30J. So they'll say, well, we're going to put one of these as affordable, but we're going to put all these others. And they try to make that, and they're winning. They're winning. And so what's happening is towns, small communities are having these very large builds come into their towns. And in many times this could tip the balance in the population in the school.
Sure.
Because now we have a lot more housing and very densely.
So we've got to fine tune these things.
They need to be. We need towns need to get a little bit more credit. And it's not that towns don't want to have affordable housing. In my community, I want more affordable housing for our teachers, for our firemen, for families just starting out.
We're going to watch your progress with that as well as all the rest. We want to thank you very much for being with us on this show. It's an exciting time to be here. We appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you, David.
Brenda Kupchick of Fairfield, our guest on this special show from the state capitol. We've got more coming up for you in just a